Hello and welcome to SailGP Today, here after a very exciting weekend at the Rockwool Germany Sail Grand Prix. It's been wet, it's been windy, we've seen speed records broken. How was it for you out there, Lise?
Oh, it's a bit wild out there for me, that's for sure. I mean, yesterday was pretty incredible to see, the F50s hit those top speeds, and then today was just one of those days of sailing where you had to just think in the moment and kind of react. And luckily enough, I didn't get too wet out there, but it was pretty miserable for the sailors, I think.
Obviously, the Aussies are back on top, which is awesome to see. But it seems that for teams like Emirates GBR, who are defending their title, it's slipping away a little bit at this point in the season.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously, like we say, the Aussies, they're finally back winning. I think they've had a 4th and a 7th and won, multiple events this season. So I think they, it was great to see them sort of take that win, and they're really extending their lead overall. Same with Spain, making that final was critical for them to kind of help them for their grand final fight. But as you said, it really is a race to the grand final, and Emirates Great Britain, maybe not the team that we're used to seeing. It's been multiple events in a row, but now they've really got heaps on, because even though they're 4th overall, they're tied with the USA. They've got Artemis that have a 7-point lead, and with just 4 events left to be able to climb that when Artemis is just on form, it's going to be really hard for them to defend their championship.
You mentioned Artemis. It seems that they obviously have been building slowly throughout the season. I actually caught up with Ian Percy earlier, and from his point of view, he just thinks the team cohesion's there, and when they're cohesive, they're operating at that next level. Do you think we could see them make the grand final and potentially win it?
I mean, obviously they're in 3rd right now, so they're looking really good. I think what Artemis did really well this weekend is that they capitalized on other people's mistakes. I don't think it was a really clean, awesome weekend for them. I think when they were at the back of the fleet and then they saw the opportunity, they were able to seize it. But what you need to do is you need to sail like Australia is, where you're like leading at Mark 1 and you're commanding the race, because that's what ultimately is going to win you a grand final.
100%. And obviously, touching on the weekend as a whole, we saw the speed record broken, with France exceeding 107 kilometers an hour, which we've never seen before. What is it about Sassnitz that makes that possible?
It's the perfect recipe. So we have, the wind is blowing offshore because we're on this island, and this time of year we're getting these westerlies offshore, which means that when it is really high wind, which they don't normally get this high out in summer, so we've been really lucky with SailGP 2 years in a row, but because it's coming offshore, it's really flat water, which means the teams are able to push that ride height, reduce drag, and for, I guess, the Spanish, the Danish, and the French that all broke the speed record kind of simultaneously, it was this one bullet of breeze that had just come off the shore, hit them at exactly the right time, and for the French, they just had the perfect arc, and it was just everything lined up perfectly. We saw that the Danish and the Spanish then hit the water, and the French managed to keep it together.
Do you think we'll ever see that exceeded?
I don't think we're going to see that exceeded in a really long time.
Yeah.
I think to be able to jump that many kilometers per hour just within a year, obviously the T4s were really new last year, the teams were just sort of getting in tune with it, but to be able to push that limit, and also you need the perfect recipe again, and you don't get that lucky so many times in a row.
There you go. And obviously it was a home event for Team Germany, who had a really good weekend in my opinion, winning 2 fleet races. It seems like they're also gaining some momentum and learning from their mistakes. What was your take on them this weekend?
Yeah, I think they sailed really well. I think one thing that the Germans are doing is they're really good at overtaking, which we haven't seen previously for the Germans. Like if they got a good start, got round Mark 1 first, they were able to kind of hold it together and execute. So even if they're kind of in the pack, they're able to sail through, which is absolute gold in this fleet. But then once they do get a good start, if that all comes together, I think they could be making finals by the end of the season for sure.
Well, we'll have to see, but we were lucky enough to catch up with German strategist Anna Barth earlier on. Here's what she had to say. Well, welcome, Anna. Firstly, can you just sum up what was that like for you? Home event in front of all those people?
It was amazing. Yeah, we really felt the crowd behind us, and to race here in front of so many fans was really, really great.
It looked like a racetrack where, anything could happen. If you were at the back, there was opportunity for overtaking, especially in your fleet. How much were you looking ahead saying, like, it's not over till it's over, guys, especially in that fleet race that you guys won today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it varied quite a lot in the phase that we were in with the clouds. So in the first race, there was just a rain cloud passing, and then after that there was no wind, and you really had to be eyes out, back to normal sailing and not looking at screens. So that was an opportunity for us. But then in the last one today, we tried to stay like that and keep fighting for the opportunities. But the boats in the front just didn't make any mistakes, and there was not really a lane to overtake.
Well, we saw some amazing racing out there. Obviously, we've broken a couple of speed records as well. What makes Sassnitz such a unique sailing venue for the F50?
Yeah, I mean, I think yesterday there were a couple of things really well coming together. The conditions were great, good wind, and then we were on the high-speed configuration, so that was perfect to break records. And I think most of the fleet broke their personal record, so that was pretty awesome.
I know you guys have been working so hard behind the scenes like everybody, but this is the first event weekend you've actually won 2 races in a weekend, I think. Does it feel like it's all coming together and you're just really close to breaking into that final?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was a point in the last start where I thought, okay, this is it. We're gonna smash the start and then do a good race and get into the final. And then we had a slightly like a handling mistake in the start and didn't get the right heeling after the check. And then that slowed us down, so we couldn't accelerate well. But it was so close. We could almost grab it.
As a team, obviously we've got 3 events in 5 weeks coming up. How do you manage that load on your team and make sure you stay refreshed and ready to go for each event?
But to be honest, I think for us it's quite an advantage because having such a big break between events, we are always getting out of sailing the boat quite a lot. So yeah, especially as a team that hasn't spent so much time on the boat, I think this is really great for us and we try to use it as an opportunity.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us and best of luck in Valencia.
Thank you.
Well, it seems like Anna's just buzzing after a weekend in front of an incredible home crowd there. Let's talk about overreactions, underreactions, as we always do. What's one statement that you're going to make from this weekend?
Well, mine was going to be that the speed record won't be broken, but we already spoke about that. So I'll have to go another one. But I don't know, it's so hard. I think Sassnitz is I guess one of the best places to sail in F50.
You've taken that out, the words out of my mouth. That was the one that I wanted to do as well. I think you're so right. It's so unique to be here up on the Baltic Sea, a place where it seems like not a huge amount of people visit unless you're from Germany, and to be here surrounded by fans of SailGP and sailing in general. It's just such a nice vibe.
Do you have a statement for me? Okay,
my statement is going to be, I think that Artemis are on track to potentially win this year's season. And we had mentioned at the beginning of the season, they're a new team, and I think it's pretty incredible that they're building like they are.
I think that's totally fair. I think the one thing that I need to see from them before we get to a grand final is they need to win an event. Because to win a grand final, you need to know how to execute those smaller boat finals. So you're not far off the pace, but I still think that they have a little bit on to kind of be at the level of what we're seeing from the Bonds Flying Roos and the Spanish at the moment, because the way that they deal with high pressure situations and delivering is above anybody else.
If you were going to have to put your money down on someone making the final, who would it be out of everyone?
Well, the Bonds Flying Roos are looking pretty good at 76 points. I think they're like 20 clear from third.
I should have seen that. And how about outside of those two, the Bonds Flying Roos and Los Gaios, who would you put your finger on?
I mean, right now you have to say Artemis, but I think anything can happen. Valencia we've never been to before, so that's a bit of an unknown venue. Geneva can be really challenging, and the Middle East events is also may suit Nathan's style a lot more, but also Taylor Canfield does quite well in the Middle East as well, so and those lighter venues. So I mean, they've become more of an all-rounder, but I think he's generally thrived. So watch out for USA as well.
Okay, last statement from you.
Last statement from me is that group racing is harder than full fleet racing.
Interesting. I don't think that is an overreaction. I think I would agree with that statement. What is your reasoning behind it though?
I think it's really hard because when you don't get to race everybody, you don't get to measure yourself against everybody else. So I know there's been this full discussion of like how hard each group is, but I think the issue is that now making a final is more important than ever because that confirms that you're going to be in the top 4 on the leaderboard. But say you have sailed a really good race weekend, you finish 5th in your group, like you can be in 10th, but maybe that would have been enough to be a 5th in a full fleet. So I think that that's really tricky because every point is so much more valuable. We've seen that, in a 13-boat fleet, you overtake 3 boats, no big deal. In a 6-boat fleet, you overtake 3 boats, and that's actually 6 points that you're gaining on the fleet. So for me, I think that that's Yeah, really tough, and like interviewing some of the sailors after racing, like I feel like they had a really good race weekend, but they're in 10th and 11th, and I was quite shocked about that.
Like we saw from Group B this weekend, it seems like when they're separated like they are, racing's just closer and tighter than it has been previously, as you mentioned in the fleet races. And we actually saw Artemis a couple of times go from 6th to 3rd in various different parts of the weekend. So yeah, as you say, it's really, really tight. My last statement is going to be that I think that this season's transfer window, we're going to see a lot of movement, I think. I think there's a few teams down at the bottom of that leaderboard that will be looking to make potential changes. And I think it's going to be an exciting end of the season in terms of transfers. What's your thoughts?
I think the issue is a lot of people have signed multi-year deals, so I don't think there's going to be enough athletes available. Like some of the big athletes aren't going to be available, and the other thing is that we've got a 14th team coming, so that will mix things up, but we have to see new talent.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. That is it from us here at the Rockwool Germany Sail Grand Prix in Sassnitz. Valencia's next. I'm very excited about Valencia. How are you feeling about that one? A new venue?
We get to go to a new venue. Spanish fans are incredible. It's on the Mediterranean. Generally, we're going to get really nice breeze there. So I can't wait for our Spanish event.
There you go. Let us know what you think in the comments about this weekend or over on our Reddit channel. We'll see you in Valencia.